It's Brain Farts, aka Thomas here again. And so today we're going to be talking about 8 times monarchies were way, way, way better than republics or democracies. Um, so so let's get started with let's start with South America and Brazil. In the last emperor of Brazil was Emperor Pedro II, and he was getting kind of ill, so he put his daughter and heir, the would-be future empress, Crown Princess Isabella of Brazil, in charge. Empress Isabella of Brazil did something that was extremely authoritarian, that violated the then accepted property rights of many Brazilian landlords. She something very, 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 very what many people then thought was tyrannical. With a single stroke of a pen, she abolished the practice of slavery in the entire empire of Brazil, apparently saying that she didn't care if it lost her crown. She just wanted people to be free. Number two, number two. Remember remember Mussolini, that dictator of Italy? Well, he also had a king who put up with him for quite a bit. But eventually Mussolini had enough and got and Mussolini got rid of because he was constitutional monarch, the king of Italy was able to pose the Mussolini. Meanwhile, back in Nazi Germany, where technically they were technically a republic and a dictatorship because there was no king, yeah, Germany just got bulldozed got bulldozed completely. Um, so it was a little better for Italy. Not great that Mussolini got in to begin with, but eventually they were because they had a constitutional monarchy. They were able to put up Mussolini by rallying around the king. Number three, Serbian monarchy today, um, which is interesting because Serbia does not have a monarchy today. The old royal family was sent to exile, has since moved to the United States, no longer speaks Serbian. They have since moved back to Serbia, back into the royal palace, give speeches and announcements and visits and speeches and announcements and have royal events like as though they were the royal family. And about and what do the people of Serbia think of this? Apparently, I've heard that there are polls that show about 60% of Serbia wants the monarchy back, um, which tells you just how democratic they're that they don't have it back. Tells you just how democratic the republic is. Is quite which is quite which is really not that democratic. Um, Number four. Let's get not at least let's number four. At least for this, I think the Greeks, when they got rid of their monarchy, were actually even worse than the Serbians. To be fair, they at least had a referendum on it repeatedly, and whenever the Republicans lost, they insisted on having another one until they won again. Also, also, when the last time when the monarchy was finally deposed, the king had been in exile for years and was pretty much barred from campaigning in the country of Greece for the monarchy, which does so. Just for comparison, imagine if any major political candidate in a country is not allowed to legally campaign for their side. Not exactly the most democratic thing. But that is not, however, as undemocratic as what the communist government in Albania did with the republic there. So number five, the Albanian monarchy. Um, they had been deposed, and there was a referendum for restoration, which they lost. It was later revealed, after the communists were overthrown, that the monarchists had actually won the election, and that the communist government simply stuffed the ballot box and forged the election results, and they openly admitted to this. So monarchies are certainly are so against democracy that that in order in order to keep them out of power, you have to democratically bar them from office. You have to cancel democracy to bar them from returning. Such a threat to democracy. Number 6, Hawaiian royal family. The Hawaiian royal family. Yes, Hawaii used to be. For those of you who don't know, Hawaii used to be its own independent country with its own royal family. They had an heir to the throne and plans of succession until a bunch of wealthy foreign landlords took over the country, banned the native population from voting, and declared the monarchy abolished. The United States then came in and simply annexed the entire country outright. Again, forced annexation, foreign foreign foreigners coming in to banning local populations from voting, and doesn't exactly sound very democratic, to say the very least. That being said, there were some real. That being said, there was that time when there was an actual democracy that was very democratic. That was just so completely insane. A monarchy had to come in and bring them to their senses because they were oppressive, so oppressive as beyond belief. Yes, we're talking the Peloponnesian Wars, the diarchy, the dual monarchy of Sparta versus democratic Athens. So we think of democratic Athens. We think how great they were, how progressive they were. Then you read the history books of what the people actually voted to do in Athens routinely. They would routinely vote to go to war with other Greeks and to invade them. There's even an entire island where they annihilated the entire population because they wouldn't pay them tribute, and they voted for this. The average Athenian voter routinely voted to go to war because they would get jobs to pay rowing the triremes. And they were so oppressive, so democratic to their supposed allies, the Delian League, um, that eventually the Peloponnesian War began. It was eventually the constitutional dual monarchy of Sparta that had enough and invaded Athens and forced them to abolish democracy because they were routinely voting to basically kill all the other Greeks. And so 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 in the end, it was actually not um, the it was not warlike. Actually, actually it was not warlike Sparta. Well, actually, Sparta actually hated going to war even when the Persians invaded. They actually wanted just all the Greeks to move within the Peloponnese and just stay there. They didn't like leaving that area. Um, it was actually the Spartans who actually saved Greece from tyranny, from democratic Athens rather than the other way around. Um, and so for my top from my final top when case when when monarchy was better than democracies or republics, the Hohenzollerns and Habsburgs of Germany and Austria respectively. Why were they better? Well, look who followed them. Look what they brought in the Weimar Republic, and the democratic system that was brought in there literally allowed Hitler to get in power in both those countries. Uh, it was literally they literally replaced the monarchy with Hitler. Uh, how can I don't know how I don't know what more to say. I literally do not want more to say. I'm not saying now again. These monarchies were far from perfect, even in Germany. But my gosh, my gosh. Um, Kaiser Wilhelm II. Do I think Kaiser Wilhelm II is better than Hitler? Yes. Um, not perfect. I'm sure, like all many other Germans, he was also racist, and it's known that his son and heir may have had some Nazi sympathies, largely because he thought Hitler was going to restore the monarchy to power. Hitler had no intention of doing that, as we know. Uh, but had the Hohenzollerns just stayed in power, and they just kept the absolute monarchy, would all that have happened? Is a would that have all happened? Fair. It is a fair question. Um. So anyway, those are my about 8 times I think think monarchies did it better. Certainly did it better than republics or democracies. Stay safe, everyone.